The big problem for the Nittany Lions last year was a lack of explosive plays. Look at what Andy Kotelnicki has been able to do through 7 games this season. And last year, Penn State was among the worst teams in the country in plays of 30 yards or longer, which is ultra explosive and a little more than the graphic shows here. But they had missed on a couple of offensive coordinators they appear to have hit so far. So all of the different things that the Penn State offense presents can be described this way. This is a quote from Kotelnicki. The blizzard, meaning our friends at Dairy Queen, the great dessert, in itself is a wonderful dessert. It looks complicated because it's messy inside, but fundamentally, it's mostly made up of what? Vanilla ice cream. That is when we talk about simplicity versus complexion. So it is going to look really complex, but at the end of the day, it's just 2 ingredients mixed together, and mixing those ingredients is the subject of Nick Saban's film room.
So to continue on the Kotelnicki blizzard analogy, you go have a blizzard when you have fun with plays. Penn State has a lot of fun with plays, but it might be stomach-turning for a defensive coordinator to deal with this stuff.
Yeah, it's fun for the offense. It's a nightmare for the defense, and let me show you why. Take an offensive tackle and put him out here and at a receiver position, he comes in motion, and this is just a simple zone play for them on offense, but he's going to slobber off this defensive end, and you see the space for the runner to run, so you get an explosive run. Now they're going to put him out here. He's going to come in here in motion. They're going to slip the tight end out in the flat. He's going to seal the edge. So you're creating mismatches with 325-pound guys blocking defensive ends, which is no fun for the defense. Easy play for the offense, not a new pattern, so it's simple. And they make another explosive play.
The vanilla with the candy mixed in to create some distortion is what they call it.
Now you would assume that the ball's always going to go to the quarterback, but they're going to shift. All right, so now the running back becomes the quarterback. We call this wildcat, and they're going to run read zone, quarterback counter, but the running back's running instead of the quarterback, and they make an explosive play for a touchdown. You like to play a check defense against that. This is really crazy. Now they put 2 offensive tackles out here. We always call this Emery and Henry. You got to have a check defense for this. You know, if you're the defensive coach, you can see Southern Cal is very confused. They got Tyler Warren right here. They've only got 2 guys rushing at the end of the day. Defensive linemen running around to get lined up. So it's crazy. And players love this kind of stuff. They have fun with it. And again, they're going to make an explosive play. Most of the time when you call these plays, the offensive players go crazy. All right, so here, 44 Warren is going to become the center. And whoever thinks that the center is eligible because he's always covered up. But now these 2 guys get off the line. They're going to throw a double pass out here. Warren's going to run down the middle. You're going to see the middle of the field safety. He's not even thinking about the center being eligible, which he is. And they're going to throw him right down the middle, make an explosive play, touchdown. Great catch.
He was a great high school basketball player. He's obviously a great tight end. He used those skills there. They call that play, Nick, Andy Kotelnicki's favorite former Peloton instructor was Kendall Toole. That's the name of the play, former USC cheerleader. Sorry, Jess Sims. Did you name your plays things that would stick in the players' minds? It might have been a little bit different.
We categorized them on defense. For an example, like if we were going to blitz, it was an act of nature. You know, rain, hail, hurricane, something like that. And we try to do all the defenses that way.
Yeah, I guess you get back to the whole theme with Kotelnicki with the blizzard, and it's been delicious for Penn State.
A lot of creative names and a lot of productivity for Kotelnicki's offense as you look at the matchup against Ohio State.
In fact, Reese, if you go back 10 years, Buffalo, Kansas, and now Penn State. In those 10 years as an offensive coordinator and play caller, he's number 2 in the country in that time in yards per play. So he's been doing this for a while.
And they've been great on 3rd down as well. A question for Penn State, though, is Drew Aller 100% and good enough? Pete Thamel here with the latest. Both teams have some questions to answer before kickoff here, Pete.
Absolutely, Reese. You know it's November when the warm-ups are as busy as they are today for Penn State and Ohio State. We'll start with Aller. He's out there warming up right now. He looks great. There's no question that he's going to start, but the buzz on the sideline right now is we're still going to see Bo Prabula in some spots today for Penn State. 2 things to watch before kick. Defender Danny Dennis-Sutton, one of the better ends on Penn State, and right tackle Anthony Donka are both game-time decisions. They're out there warming up right now. We'll see if they can go. Some late news out of Ohio State. Tight tight end Will Kacmarek is out, and that looms large because he's their best blocking tight end. We are going to see Donovan Jackson, the All-American guard, slide over to left tackle, and I just gleaned out in warmups that Carson Hinsman, a backup center, is going to start at left guard for Ohio State. He was last year's starting center. He obviously got replaced by Seth McLaughlin. So there's a lot of uncertainty on that left side of the offensive line for Ohio State, Reese.
And Pete, they're in a cauldron here to try to see if they can keep things calm, but maybe one of the ways you can do it is, we've talked a lot about the Penn State offense, is that the Ohio State defense can settle everything down.
Yeah, I heard that during the bye week that Jim Knowles sat down with Ryan Day and they figured out some things on defense. They look good against Nebraska defensively. Let me show you what they're going to look like this afternoon against Penn State's offense. Let's take a look at today's road test presented by Goodyear. Now let's start with defensive tackles. My man, Tyleik Williams, man, he was just warming up behind us. He passes the eye test. There he is in the wide 3 technique. Watch how he walks the tackle back, arms extended so he doesn't get held, keeps an eye on the quarterback, comes up with a sack. I mean, that's just how you draw it up. Perfect technique. Now he's over the center, guys. He's going to swim past the center, past the guard, and past the right tackle. He has instincts. Coach, you just mentioned that. This is something that you just can't teach. Watch him. The center, the guard, the tackle for a TFL in the backfield. That's just great instincts. But big 6'3" Tyleik Williams. Now, Marcel Reed, the safety, the linebacker, came out with a big hit. Now, he's in the same area as Sonny Styles. I don't think this is how they drew up the defense, but watch how he makes up for that mistake. Comes up, big hit, separate ball from player. Here it is again, slow-mo. He was actually ejected. It was one of those personal fouls. Ohio State said, listen, targeting. He was kicked out the game, but then I guess they sent it to the Big Ten. Big Ten said, no, it was a legal hit. So he'll be playing today against Penn State.
They're headed over there to break down a game that's coming in the SEC tonight. Now, first off, you're going to see Duke, Miami, and Duke is hoping the ghost of Corn Elder doesn't come back to get them. That's at noon Eastern time on ABC. That's followed by Florida and Georgia. The Gators, huge underdogs. By the way, last time in Jacksonville for a couple of years. You're going to renovate the stadium. You're going to play in Atlanta and Tampa until our Jaguars have the stadium already there in beautiful downtown Jacksonville. And then DoorDash counting us down to kickoff.
Watch out.
In Fayetteville, Arkansas putting together some offense. This is an elimination game for Ole Miss because all of them are from this point forward. There's Leno. Some of the Ole Miss fans are upset that Jackson Dart went out for Halloween and dressed up.
Come on.
They're upset. Well, see, what they forgot about was Johnny Manziel.
Oh, yeah.
So Johnny Manziel went out and everything worked out fine. That's what they got to realize.
They needed to beat Johnny Manziel.
He was Scooby-Doo, I think, that night.
He was.
Then he would go for 380 yards 2 days later.
Arby's weekend menu. Ole Miss and Arkansas. And Vanderbilt and Auburn. The ghost, and not even the ghost, the real thing of Diego Pavia, who beat Auburn last year at New Mexico State and beat Hugh Freeze at Liberty when he was at New Mexico State. And here he comes again. And quarterbacks who can cause a problem. Marcel Reed tonight for the Aggies against the Gamecocks when they took Wigman out and let Reed run wild. Kirk, things changed for the Aggies against LSU.
Boy, it was an amazing difference when Marcel Reed came into the game, and the ability to get this offense really to just open it up. And now we got a week for South Carolina to prepare. Let's talk about what he's done, not just in this LSU game, but really all year long, what he's been able to do.
Well, I think when you have a dual threat quarterback like this is a read zone option, and you can see both tight ends are arcing out to the perimeter, so they're going to make positive blocks on the perimeter. He pulls the ball. And
for people at home, Coach, his eyes are right here.
Yeah, he's reading this guy.
And if he comes down, takes the back, he's going to pull it.
And two blockers out front, so they
really
block him on the perimeter, so it's off to the races.
So, and the LSU couldn't figure this out, their defense.
I don't really think LSU was prepared for this. Now, here you're going to see pull, action this way, counter. Actually, LSU defends the play pretty well, but A&M just blocks them up, hat on a hat.
And for the fans at home, when this is basically a quarterback counter, as Coach said, you have the center, the left tackle, both pulling. You get action this way, and then you get right behind the blocks that you just talked about. Tough to defend. When you read it, and then that's just a design run. This is earlier in the year when Marcel Reed was in against Florida.
Well, you know, this is your dream on defense, is to have a free runner at the quarterback. This is actually 2nd and 21. He feels the pressure, and he's going to make a 30-yard run out of this. So this is so frustrating for you on defense, whether you're playing zone or man, when you have a quarterback that can take off running and break you down like that.
And the thing to remember here is it's almost like you're in position, but you got to tackle him. It's one thing to be there, right? It's guys like Jaden Daniels was last year at LSU.
Well, that's what makes it great. Now here, the thing that impressed me most in the Florida game is the first 3 third downs of the game. We talk about this guy being a runner. He converts all 3 third downs. This is one of them where you, again, a free runner in the A-gap up the middle. He scrambles to throw this time, not to run.
Coach,
and converts a 3rd down.
Instead of everyone thinks he's just a runner, look at his eyes downfield. Look at him recognizing this right here and be able to make that throw. So he's not just looking to run.
A lot of quarterbacks have a tough time doing that.
And here he is last week. This is really he had 2 passes when he got in.
Yeah, they called 20 out of 22 plays were runs when he's in the game.
Yep.
But this is what he can do. This guy can pass the ball, and this is a big play, explosive play down the field, 50-yard throw.
Coach, I want you to watch this. Because of his threat to run, look how slow this safety is. He's eyeing the quarterback, and because he's eyeing him, he's late in getting back. That opens up that throw real quick.
Yeah,
Shane Beamer and his defense had a week. He went in the middle of the game. Now you got Shane Beamer trying to figure out what in the world are we going to do to try to stop him. It's different having a week to prepare for that.
I really do think when you have a week to prepare for a quarterback like this, it gives you a little bit of an advantage. And I think South Carolina's front has a really good opportunity to try to create some confusion for this guy in pass rush, as well as athletic enough to take him off the read. So that's very important too. You got to have defensive ends that can get him on the ground.
Yeah, they got 2 good ones. And Maurice, I think we all agree this is a different deal this week with South Carolina at home at night, a week to get ready. Dangerous game for A&M.
I know A&M's a real program, no fast-talking politicians spewing BS. I know all that. Taki's forced 16 turnovers. Better be careful. Next week, Baton Rouge, Alabama, and LSU, as if the stakes aren't always high. This is a virtual elimination game for the Crimson Tide and the Tigers. We'll be there 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. by the river.